What's going on, everybody? This is Takai. In today's video, I'm going to be going over a little cinematography breakdown of a recent short film that I DP'd called Buddy the Clown. And before I get into the video, check out the card up there to check out the full film because there will be some spoilers. And when you're done, let's get into the video. To start things off, I'm going to be showing you guys the main shots that we see throughout the entire film because these are the shots that narrate it. Here we have a shot of our main character Buddy and a shot of the woman that he sits next to randomly. So as far as lighting in this setup, everything was extremely simple. So what we did is we placed the actors in some shade underneath a tree to help eliminate most of the harsh sunlight that hits them. And to eliminate the rest of the harsh sunlight that was hitting our actors' faces, we used a 2x3 silk. A 2x3 silk was barely enough to diffuse the sunlight that was hitting both of our actors, but the reason why we used the 2x3 silk is because we actually almost got kicked out of this park and we had to scrap a majority of the gear that we're using. As a result, we had to use the bare minimum of what we had, and we used the 2x3 silk just because it was much smaller and a lot less noticeable. So what the silk is doing is it's softening the sunlight that's hitting her on the right side of her face and creating this nice little soft gradient. And because we're filming this at a park in the middle of the day, there's a lot of natural light around us, and in our case, all that light is hitting the grass and bouncing onto our actors' faces and filling in their shadows, which is creating a nice little high-key look. All the scenes that we shot in this park, with the exception of some of the clown clips, were all shot with the same lighting setup. So the lighting setup here again is extremely simple. All we're doing is we're using a reflector and reflecting some key light onto the side of his face, and we did it directly to the side of him to create this little halfer look. And the second thing that I wanted to talk about in this shot is instead of using a close-up lens to shoot a close-up shot, I used a wide-angle lens to shoot this close-up. And the reason why I used a wide-angle lens for this close-up is because when you use wide-angle lenses for close-ups, you have to get pretty damn close to the subject just for it to be considered a close-up. In this case, I was actually standing a few inches away from Buddy, and in the shot, it gives you this weird feeling that he's standing only a few inches away from you because the camera was only a couple inches away from him. And if I were to frame the shot exact same way but on a tighter lens, it would get rid of a lot of the background and make it a lot more compressed. And in my opinion, that would get rid of the feeling of him standing directly next to you. So now we're gonna get into the fun stuff, and what I'm gonna show you next is the nighttime scenes in the house. So in this scene, we're shooting inside of a living room with two big windows. So what we did as far as lighting is we had two 1K lights. We used one 1K for each of the windows, and we gelled them at full CTB to give it this nice dark nighttime look. And each of the windows had blinds, so what we did is we angled the blinds in a way where it would cut out some of the light and it would create these shadows on the walls. Fast forward this clip by a few seconds and Buddy comes around the corner and he's about to stab the hell out of her. And what we did as far as lighting for this is there's a little staircase that he's standing next to where we put a light stand and a light on, and then it's key lighting him. And then in the very background, we also have a light that's very subtly lighting it just to add some more depth. So the next shot we have here is a shot of the kid coming down the stairs to check out what's going on. Lighting here is extremely simple. On the opposite side of this window here is the roof, and what we did is we put a light outside of the roof and shined it through the window, and then again took advantage of the blinds that were here and shined it through the blinds to create this little scattered light look. And while he's walking down the stairs, he's using the flashlight and shining it on the wall, and the light that hits the wall is bouncing off of it and key lighting him in the face. And then lastly, we used a haze machine to fill the room with haze, and what that does is it makes the light beam from the flashlight more visible. Speaking of light beams making lights more visible, I wanted to show you guys this shot real quick, which is the original living room setup with the two 1K lights. In this angle, we have the 1K light shining through one of the windows, and because we hazed up the room, you can actually see the shape of the light when where it's being cut. And it creates this look that looks pretty cool. And the last shot that I'm going to show you guys is when the kid with the flashlight comes down and sees Buddy the Clown and he's about to stab him with his knife. And the lighting setup here is exactly the same as the lighting setup with the woman, except now we have a flashlight key lighting him and he's being very subtly backlit by the hazy window. So that wraps up the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned a few new things, and as always, I make plenty more videos just like this one, so if you want to see more, subscribe and check out my other ones, and I will see you guys later.